We are officially into 2025, and you may be wondering, is Squarespace really the best platform for me and my business? I'm going to lay out the pros and cons in this video as a Squarespace and Show website designer who has also designed on other platforms since 2012. If we haven't met, hi, my name is Becca, and I have courses as well as love teaching about SEO and how to get your website ranking on Google. So let's get started. So I'm going to assume that you are going the DIY route, or maybe you hired a website in a day designer and you are going to have to be making updates and changes to your website. And honestly, it's really great that you have a platform that is user friendly, because if your business is going to grow and evolve, you want to be able to add pages, make sales pages, things like that. So, what are some pros? First, Squarespace. Honestly, the number one pro is how user friendly it is, even if you're not a techie type of person. You don't need code, and you can make a beautiful website just by doing the drag and drop interface. The next thing is there's a lot of templates on Squarespace. So you can look for beautifully designed templates that are free with your Squarespace subscription, or you can always go to a website designer and use one of their templates if you want to drop a couple $100 on that. But honestly, the templates that the Squarespace team has designed are very high quality and very polished looking. Another thing that I love about Squarespace is the built-in SEO features. I am a big advocate for optimizing your website for search engines so that it not only looks good, but it's getting found on Google, and your ideal client, when they search you, can have your website pop up. So Squarespace makes it so easy to optimize your site and to help you rank higher by having, like, this is where you put in this type of keyword phrase, which I love. It's also an all-in-one platform, and this is something that makes it a little bit more unique from other platforms like Showit. You can get your hosting, your domain name, which you can't get like your domain name through WordPress or your domain name through Showit. You have to go elsewhere and then connect it. But with Squarespace, you can get it right in there. You can also do email marketing. You can have a course on your Squarespace website, which is so crazy and can save you a ton of money, because course platforms, I use ThriveCart, which is one of the cheaper options. But the one-time fee, which is awesome, it's a one-time fee and not an ongoing fee, is like $500, I think, one time. So it's another fee. Whereas with Squarespace, maybe you're like, I don't want a course, but will you down the road? You can do booking in Squarespace, all of that. So it's really good for solopreneurs who want to DIY, but also expect their business to grow at some point and want to have everything integrated in it. Okay, let's go into the cons of Squarespace. There is a little bit of less customizations that you can make. And that, as a designer, is one of the reasons I love Showit. I want to be able to put things exactly where I want to put things, overlap things exactly how I want to overlap things. And Squarespace has grown a ton in this from when I first started designing in like 2017 on Squarespace. But it still is not as customizable as like Showit, WordPress, or Webflow, one of those sort of things. And you may hit some limitations. Honestly, if you're DIYing it though, you probably will. But anyway, it also can be pricey for some. I do think it's one of the more affordable options. Even though people might think WordPress is super cheap, you still have to pay for the hosting through, Hostmaster or something, and you're still dropping a couple hundred on that, and then you get your domain name elsewhere. With Squarespace, you pay for the yearly hosting, and then you get your domain name for free for the first year, and I think it's definitely worth it, but it can be pricey for some. There is a little bit of a learning curve, I will say, like not as much as some other platforms, but there is a learning curve, and you just kind of have to familiarize yourself with the back end. I give a ton of tutorials on my YouTube channel, and if you're ever like, I don't know how to do this specific thing, join my Facebook group, Squarespace and Showit for Creatives. And if you comment in there, there are a ton of designers on both those platforms that are very quick to respond with any questions you may have. Or you could always reach out to their Squarespace's chat. They're not the best at responding, and that would probably be one of my cons. Showit has a phenomenal customer support team, which I love, but yeah, there's tons of groups and tons of tutorials for Squarespace as well. And then another con is limited integrations. They do have some integrations with different tools, but it doesn't integrate perfectly with a lot of third-party apps. So for example, I use Flowdesk as my email marketing provider. Again, you could use Squarespace. They have email marketing in their platform, but I love Flowdesk, and I'll link a 50% off coupon below for that. But in order to integrate that into Squarespace, you have to do a tiny bit of code. Again, you can find a ton of tutorials on how to do that, but just know that that is what you will have to do. So overall, despite the cons, I do think Squarespace is really an excellent choice, especially for newer entrepreneurs and non-techie business owners. You get a website that looks beautifully designed, is easy to manage, and is optimized for SEO without needing to code, which is chef's kiss. So I want to encourage you guys, if you are like feeling overwhelmed by the process and wondering where to even start with DIYing a website, I have a free training. You don't have to be techie. It's for any small business who wants to get their website up and running quickly. I teach you my process to getting it done in a weekend, from branding to designing the website to SEO. So join it below and let me know if you guys have any other questions about Squarespace or any other platform.